Chapter 61, Right Time, Right Place, Right People. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 2 more of these. The restaurant manager almost laughed out of his eyes when he looked at the dishes Chen Mo ordered. This boss is really awesome. These dishes are all lobster, king crab, and other high-end dishes of the hotel, and they all require 2 portions. Okay, Mr. Chen. The restaurant manager greeted him warmly, and then began to order the waiters to rush the chef to prepare the dishes. Xiaoro, please check later to see if there is a higher-end karaoke bar nearby. Make a reservation. Employees here who don't want to go back after dinner can go to the karaoke bar. You have a budget of 15,000, just book a place according to this budget. After ordering, Chen Mo found that he still had 15,000 system funds that he had not spent. The consumption in this restaurant was a bit low. The 2 companies combined have nearly 60 people, and they haven't even spent 100,000 yuan. This is not okay. It seems that I will have to change to a more upscale restaurant next time. I understand, Mr. Chen. Hearing this, Chen Mo nodded in agreement. I sighed in my heart. Mr. Chen is so kind to his employees. He only orders expensive dishes when ordering. Even singing requires a high-end singing hall. Mr. Chen, let me toast you. Without you, Mr. Chen, there would be no Li Shen today. As soon as he returned to the restaurant on the 2nd floor, Li Shen came over with a glass of wine. Chen Mo took another look at the banquet table behind Li Shen and found that the others were also holding wine glasses and looking eager to try. The last time I drank too much, it was these people who toasted me. This time I have to respect him. Oh. Wrong, it was last time. Li Shen, Mr. Chen can't drink. Before Chen Mo could speak, Shen Ro stood up and said with a frown. She clearly remembered how Chen Mo drank too much fruit beer the day before yesterday. Then let's have a drink instead of wine. Soon, Chen Mo had an extra drink in his hand, thinking that he shouldn't drink too much. After a while, Chen Mo burped, looked at the drink in his hand, and said he couldn't drink it anymore. He casually greeted those who wanted to continue toasting and went back. This group of people didn't want to eat well, so they wanted to toast him. It's really not a worry. After thinking for a while, he stood up, looking around. He found Li Shen chatting with a female employee. The 6th child took the lead in toasting and went off to flirt with girls. After thinking about it, I walked over directly. Li Shen, how does this food taste? Mr. Chen, the food here is delicious. Li Shengshen looked at Chen Mo walking over with flattery and spoke quickly. If it's delicious, eat more. I see you haven't touched your chopsticks for a long time. This lobster is good. As Chen Mo spoke, he placed a lobster in front of Li Shen's table. Here's a duck leg and half a can of caviar. I've eaten them all. I'm full. Mr. Chen, I'm full, I can't eat anymore. Li Shen ate a duck leg with difficulty, patted his chest and felt a little choked. Come on, here's half a bottle of red wine. Let's drink some and eat some. Upon seeing this, Chen Mo put half a bottle of red wine into Li Shen's hand. Li Shen looked at the half bottle of red wine, his eyes a little dizzy, but Mr. Chen was so enthusiastic that he couldn't refuse. I barely drank half of the bottle of red wine, but I didn't choke anymore, but I felt even more panicked. There are still a few big shrimps here, Lulu and I'll go look elsewhere. Seeing that Li Shen couldn't hold on any longer, Chen Mo put a few more prawns into Li Shen's bowl, patted Li Shen on the shoulder and left. Li Shen burst into tears when he saw Mr. Chen finally leaving. Mr. Chen is good at everything, but he has one shortcoming. It's so nice to the employees. Chen Mo walked around the banquet hall, looking for the favorite people who had just toasted. Come on, this Buddha jumps over the wall is pretty good. There's still more than half a bowl left. Don't waste it. Just eat it all. This sea cucumber is quite big. What, I can't eat anymore. This fish soup is good. Drink some fish soup. After 3 rounds of wine, the 5 flavors of food are gone. When everyone had almost finished eating, Wei Yan stood up and spoke. Brothers, don't be in a hurry to go home soon. Mr. Chen has reserved a singing hall for us. You can go and sing. After Shen Ro decided on the location of the singing hall, she notified Wei Yan to organize the next activities. Chen Mo was not going to go to the karaoke bar. After all, he was the only boss there and the employees couldn't let him go. On the second day, early morning, after Chen Mo finished the breakfast brought by Yang Duo, he came to the company. He leaned back comfortably on the gaming chair and drank the coffee prepared by Chen Mo. Today is an important day, that's right, today is the day for system settlement. Consciousness plunged into my mind and looked at the system panel. Host, Chen Mo. System funds, 3.08/4 million. Personal assets. 1942. Settlement cycle, 1 month, countdown, 2 hours and 38 minutes. After yesterday's hard work, the system funds were finally spent below 4,000, and early this morning, he asked the business department if there were any new results, and the answer he got was that there were no new results yet. There is no need to worry if the customer suddenly makes a payment. He also paid attention to Li Shin's side, and he didn't make any small moves, so he wouldn't have to deal with the backlog of clothes anymore. Cangxue Games is still developing new games, and other games are also at a loss, the right time, the right location, and the right people. This time the system settlement, he will definitely get the 4 million. Chen Mo, who Chen Mo had been secretly paying attention to from afar, found that Chen Mo was in a particularly good mood today, with a smile appearing on his lips from time to time. Did something good happen to Mr. Chen? How could I be so happy? Cangxue Games, Wei Yan walked into the company with a tired look on his face. The boys had so much fun yesterday that they didn't come back until midnight. Good morning, Manager Fong. Why didn't you have breakfast today? Passing by the manager's office, he found that Fong Chang didn't have breakfast today. He remembered that Fong Chang would have breakfast at this time every day, but he didn't eat breakfast today, which was a bit strange. Morning, Director Wei, I'm not hungry yet this morning. Fong Chang thought about his experience last night. Mr. Chen gave him a large bowl of Buddha jumping over the wall. No. That can't be said to be a bowl, it can be said to be a basin. He had almost eaten enough, and with the bowl of Buddha jumping over the wall, he was almost unable to walk. I still feel a little stretched when I wake up in the morning. Manager Fong, there is good news. Tianlong Games suddenly gained a lot of income. Zhao Bowen rushed into the manager's office excitedly. Chapter 62, Mr. Chen's trick is brilliant. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Director Wei is here too. Looking at Wei Yan, who was also in the room, Zhao Bowen politely greeted him. Wei Yan nodded and looked at Zhao Bowen, who rushed in with confusion. I remember that Tianlong Game has not been in a lost state. Although he has not been in Cangxue Game for a long time, he has been learning and understanding these days, so he knows something about Tianlong Game. The main reason for Tianlong's loss is that the game players are losing a lot, and fewer people are charging money into the game. And this time someone charged a large sum of money into the game. Zhao Bowen explained that he was sitting there bored this morning, so he casually looked at the background of several games, and suddenly found that Tianlong's game account suddenly had an extra 300,000 yuan. He curiously checked and found that a local tyrant directly charged 300,000 yuan into the game the day before yesterday. How much money suddenly increased? Fong Chang looked at Zhao Bowen's excited face and asked curiously, this Tianlong Game usually has similar situations. After all, this game was popular before, and some old players who are not short of money can recharge thousands or tens of thousands of yuan out of gratitude, but I have never seen Zhao Bowen so excited. 300,000, a full 300,000. Zhao Bowen stretched out 3 fingers, and then showed an admiring expression. I finally understand why Mr. Chen priced that set of equipment so expensively. The equipment price is so expensive, just for those local tyrants. After all, in the eyes of local tyrants, there is no difference between a few thousand and tens of thousands. Tianlong Game has a serious loss of players. If the price continues to be set at the previous price, not many people will buy it. And Mr. Chen has a far-sighted vision and directly raised the equipment to a very high level. In this way, if it cannot be sold, the loss is not big. After all, it has always been a loss. But if 1 or 2 local tyrants draw the equipment, there will be a large amount of funds in the account. Mr. Chen's trick is brilliant. Fong Chang and Wei Yan looked at each other after hearing this, and agreed with Zhao Bowen's analysis just now. Unexpectedly, Mr. Chen set the price of the equipment so high and thought so far ahead. Fong Chang sighed. He thought that the price of the equipment was so high that no one would buy it. Sure enough, Mr. Chen is Mr. Chen. But this is not a long-term solution. If you keep selling so many high-priced equipment, will those rich people keep buying it? Wei Yan frowned, his tone was a little uncertain. After all, he was not a rich man and didn't know the mentality of rich people. Fong Chang and Zhao Bowen fell into silence after hearing this. Mr. Chen's actions did make Tianlong earn money, but if he continued to do so, would those rich people really buy it? After a while, Fong Chang rubbed his still bloated stomach and stood up. Don't think too much. Mr. Chen should have his own ideas. We will just follow them when the time comes. Go back and transfer the 300,000 to Mr. Chen's company account. So that Mr. Chen can be happy too. Changfeng Garment Factory. Mr. Chen, Wang Maoyan called and said that the canteen has been renovated. He asked you to go over and light the first fire in the kitchen to get a good start. Chen Ro conveyed the news she had just received to Chen Mo. Oh, has the canteen been completed? Let's go and take a look. Chen Mo's eyes lit up when he heard this. Anyway, there were still 2 hours before the system settlement, so it would be good to visit the new canteen. Mr. Chen, you are in a good mood today. Chen Ro followed Chen Mo and smiled. Really? Chen Mo turned to look at Chen Ro. Was he so obvious? Mr. Chen has been smiling all day. Come to the company canteen. I found that there was a red carpet at the entrance of the canteen, as well as a large inflatable arch, and flower baskets were placed on both sides. It looked like a new store opening. Who did this? Chen Mo asked in confusion. He remembered that he did not ask for these things. I heard from Uncle Wang that this was done by the decoration company. Congratulations on the completion of our canteen. Chen Ro replied. Chen Mo nodded when he heard this. The decoration company was quite capable. It was worth spending so much money. Mr. Chen, you are here. This canteen is waiting for you to light the first fire. Just after entering the canteen, Wang Maoyan trotted over from a distance with his bloated body. However, after a long morning run, he was a little thinner. Let's go. Chen Mo nodded and followed Wang Maoyan to the back kitchen. Does this first fire mean that he has successfully settled the account today? Yes. It's a good sign. Arriving at the back kitchen, under the gaze of everyone, Chen Mo lit the first fire. Mr. Chen, the leisure room on the second floor is also ready. You can go and have a look. I'll cook now, and you must come to taste the first dish in the cafeteria. Seeing that Mr. Chen had already lit the fire, Wang Maoyan spoke again. Okay, then you cook. Arriving at the lounge on the second floor, Chen Mo looked around and found that the billiards, table tennis, treadmills, fitness equipment, and massage chairs and other supplies were all ready. Which one can you play? Ping pong, right? Chen Ro looked at the recreational facilities and found that she had only played table tennis when she was in school. Play a few times and feel it. Chen Mo walked to the cabinet next to the table tennis table and found a racket and handed it to Chen Ro. After playing for a while, the dishes were ready downstairs, and the two went downstairs. Mr. Chen, please taste it. Chen Mo looked at the dishes on the table in surprise. He didn't expect that 6 dishes were made in such a short time. He picked up the chopsticks and tasted it simply. The taste was very good, and it felt no worse than those star-rated restaurants. Is Wang Maoyan still good at cooking? Chen Mo thought secretly in his heart. It tastes good. I can't finish all these by myself. You guys eat too. Chen Mo said to the people around him. Mr. Chen, I won't eat anymore. When Wang Maoyan heard Mr. Chen's invitation to eat, his body couldn't help but tremble. Yesterday in the restaurant, Mr. Chen forced him to eat a whole roast suckling pig, and said that he had to finish it in 3 bites, but he still hasn't digested it. When he heard Mr. Chen calling him to eat, the image of the roast suckling pig came to his mind, and he felt that he didn't want to eat roast suckling pig in his life. After dealing with the canteen, Chen Mo returned to the office and looked at the time. It was only a few minutes before 12 o'clock. that means the settlement will start in a few minutes. Such an important thing was almost missed. Chen Mo looked at the system panel in his mind with a smile on his face. Chapter 63. This is all thanks to you, Mr. Chen. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hey. Chen Mo was stunned for a moment, blinked, and took another look. Host, Chen Mo. System funds, 300308/4 million. Personal assets, 1942. Settlement cycle, 1 month, countdown, 4 minutes and 38 seconds, 0.1, 10, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, 100,000. After confirming that he saw it correctly, he felt bad all over. Nanny. When will there be an additional 300,000 system funds? He clearly remembered that it was still 308 yuan in the morning, but in just over 2 hours, it suddenly increased by 300,000 yuan. It was that old boy who tricked me again. Looking at the countdown with only a few minutes left, Chen Mo knew that this time the 4 million had once again slipped away before his eyes. 4 million. That's a full 4 million. He had never seen so much money in his 2 lifetimes, just disappearing like this. Chen Moxing slumped in his seat helplessly. He had obviously spent so much effort. System settlement in progress. System settlement is completed and fund conversion begins. The fund conversion is completed and the system funds are replenished. The system funds have been replenished. Please check the host. The host has completed the side task of owning another company. The reward has been distributed. The host should pay attention to check it. A mechanical voice sounded in my mind. Chen Mo looked at his system panel. Host, Chen Mo. System funds, 8 million. Personal assets, 5,641. Settlement cycle, 2 months, countdown, 60 days. Looking at the cold system panel, the only thing Chen Mo could find comfort in was that this time the system funds had reached 8 million. If he could successfully convert it this time, your personal assets can directly become 8 million. Of course, I now have more than 5,000 personal funds, so I don't have to live in such a tight situation. By the way, there are still system rewards that I haven't received yet. I wonder what he will be rewarded for. Chen Mo found the system reward interface and clicked directly to receive it. 10 classic songs from the parallel world have been sent to the host's mailbox. Please check. 10 classic songs. Chen Mo curiously opened the email and downloaded the song to his mobile phone and computer hard drive. I took a quick look at the 10 songs. They are Invisible Wings, Lonely Warrior, Relief of Sorrow, but these songs don't seem to be of any use to me. He can't sell these songs for money. He can't even spend the money. If he sells them for money, isn't he looking for trouble for himself? The rewards in this system are useless. Never mind, even if you can't sell it, it's still good to listen to it yourself. Chen Mo reluctantly comforted himself, then put on his headphones, intending to listen to the song from his previous life, but soon, he realized something was wrong. Why is Mao's voice in this song so familiar? Depend on, isn't this my own voice? How come these parallel world songs became sung by me? Don't be surprised, host. Since these songs have no source in this world, the system automatically corrected them. The host is the original singer of these songs. Chen Mo listened to the mechanical sound of the system and tried to sing a sentence. He found that just as the system said, he could sing all these songs, and he was proficient in them. Does the system want him to become a singer? Chen Mo leaned lazily on his seat and threw away the idea. What kind of singer do you want to be? It's tiring to make announcements every day, and it's not certain how these songs will be received in the world, so it's business to find a way to spend all the system funds this time. After all, this time it's 8 million, but before that, we still need to figure out the sudden extra 300,000 yuan. Thinking of this, Chen Mo stood up from his seat, looked at Shen Ro who was working, and said hello. Xiaoro, there is suddenly an extra 300,000 yuan in the company account. Can you tell who made the call? That he would like to take a look. This is another good thing done by the 6th man. Okay, Mr. Chen. Hearing this, Shen Ro hurriedly investigated, for a long time, checked the transfer details. Mr. Chen, the call is from Cangxue Games. Cangxue Games, here Cangxue Game. Chen Mo frowned. Could it be that rebellious guy Wei Yan causing trouble for me again? After thinking about it, I called directly. Mr. Chen, are you looking for me? Wei Yan's voice came over the phone. Well, I see that Cangxue Games transferred 300,000 yuan to the company account. What is the situation? Chen Mo asked slowly. Chen Mo, you said that 300,000 yuan is the income of Tianlong Games. Isn't Tianlong all in a state of loss? How can there be so much income? Chen Mo sounded a little confused. This is all thanks to you, Mr. Chen. You asked the R&D department to come up with a new set of equipment and then set a very high price. I didn't expect that anyone would actually be willing to pay for it. On the day the equipment was put on the shelves, someone made a direct charge of 300,000 yuan. Wei Yan spoke enthusiastically, his tone full of admiration for Chen Mo. For a long time, Chen Mo hung up the phone slowly. He finally understood that this time the settlement was actually his own fault. He asked to develop the equipment, and he also asked to set the price, and there really is a sucker who buys this equipment. That's 100,000. Chen Mo was speechless, and he opened the Tianlong game casually. He wanted to see who bought this set of equipment, and bought 3 sets at once. Enter the game, clicked on the game character rankings, and sure enough, he saw 3 people wearing the same equipment as him, and one person's name was particularly conspicuous. I am a rich man. That it was this guy. Chen Mo immediately figured out the whole story of the incident. After being killed by him, this guy was dissatisfied, and then he happened to find the new equipment on the shelves. In order to get back at the place, he rushed 300,000. After thinking about the reason clearly, he wanted to slap himself twice. Why did he play games when he had nothing to do? 4 million was just beaten away by himself, but things have already happened, and they cannot be reversed. Looking at the game character in the game, Chen Mo secretly controlled the game character to go to the wild to kill monsters, ready to vent his depressed mood. After a while, Chen Mo looked at his gray game interface and fell into deep doubt. Just now, he hadn't killed monsters for long when, I am a rich man, came with a group of people, wearing the same equipment as him, and there were 3 of them. This time, they didn't say a word, but beat him to death. Looking at the mocking words in the chat room, Chen Mo fell into silence. Chapter 64 Get a Free. You are listening at novelfull.audio. He realized that he had lost both his wife and his troops. In reality, the system failed to settle. In the game, he failed to save face and was beaten to death. Chen Mo looked at the idea of, I am a rich man, and felt itching with hatred. It was this guy. No, this cannot be forgotten. He thought clearly that since the settlement was irreversible, his face in the game must be restored. Since this piece of equipment doesn't work, I'm working on a new one. Get a higher price. 1 million set. No. Chen Mo quickly gave up the idea. If the wealthy man had a disease in his head, he would really spend the money to buy it. Then he is the one who suffers. Have to think of another way. Chen Mo rubbed his head and fell into deep thought. Suddenly his eyes lit up. Since it can't be sold, why not just make it into monster spawning equipment? Then let Cangxue Games adjust the equipment explosion rate to the lowest value. Wouldn't that be enough? In this way, even if you are lucky enough to get 1 piece, there are more than 10 types of equipment, jewelry, weapons, and so on. It will take years of the monkey to raise a complete set of equipment. Good. That's it. The more Chen Mo thought about it, the more he felt that this plan was feasible. In this way, even if the rich man has money, he will not be able to buy it. After confirming that there were no loopholes this time, Chen Mo directly picked up the phone and dialed. Hello, Mr. Chen, do you have any instructions? The call is connected. Fong Chang's respectful voice came from inside. As for Tianlong Games, haven't they recently released a new set of equipment? I think it's a bit lacking. I'm going to let you make a new set. The requirements are still the same as last time. The modeling is almost the same. However, the equipment value this time must be higher than the value of the last set of equipment. Chen Mo slowly stated his request. Mr. Chen, that set of equipment has just been on the shelves for a few days, so it wouldn't be good to have a new one. What's wrong with it? As for games, new content must be updated all the time to keep it fresh, you know. I understand, Mr. Chen. does this equipment need to be priced at 100,000? Fong Chang asked, wondering whether Mr. Chen had tasted the sweetness because of the 300,000 in the morning and wanted to do it again. No, I won't sell it this time. I can only buy wild monsters to explode equipment and explode them. And I adjusted the equipment explosion rate to the lowest level, preferably the kind that would be difficult to drop even after a month of grinding. Cangxue Games. Fong Chang hung up the phone and fell into deep thought. He originally thought that Mr. Chen had tasted the sweetness of the 300,000 yuan in the morning and planned to sell a new piece of equipment, but I never expected that Mr. Chen didn't plan to sell it this time. Why is this? Sure enough, we ordinary people cannot understand Mr. Chen's farsightedness. Fong Chang sighed and shook his head, and called Zhao Bowen over. Since he couldn't understand Mr. Chen's intention, he just did as he was told. Brother Chang, look for me. Before long, Zhao Bowen walked in and sat directly opposite Fong Chang. Fong didn't take it seriously. Before the company was taken over by Chen Mo, he and Zhao Bowen were good buddies and often went out drinking together. Therefore, it would be okay for Zhao Bowen to be casual in front of him without affecting the company's operation. Mr. Chen has announced a new mission, asking us to develop a set of Tianlong equipment. The equipment value is higher than the previous one. There are no other requirements. You can do it as you see fit. For the staff, you should find the original team from last time and make it happen as soon as possible. By releasing a second piece of new equipment so soon, Mr. Chen is trying to strike while the iron is hot and make a fortune. Zhao Bowen was surprised when he heard Fong Chang's description. No, Mr. Chen doesn't plan to put the equipment in the mall this time, and has invested in the mode of brushing wild equipment. Why is that? Zhao Bowen was very confused. I don't know, we just have to follow these instructions. Fong Chang shook his head. Afternoon, Changfeng Garment Factory. Chen Mo sat at his desk and began to plan how to spend the newly arrived 8 million system funds. First of all, you can use 10% of the money for charity, which is 800,000, which is equivalent to a free gift and must be used. Shen Ro's orphanage can be the first charity target. Then the office computers at Cangxue Games can also be replaced. There are more than 30 workstations in total. According to the configuration of a set of 40,000, it is about 1.3 million. The air conditioning there is not very good, so the tea room needs to be decorated with some snack cabinets and other leisure items, as well as some expensive green plants. A total budget of almost 1.6 million is required. Next month's employees' wages must also be reserved in advance, which will probably cost about 600,000. In this way, a total budget of 3 million can be spent. In other words, it will cost another 5 million. Wrong. Before Wei Yan, the rebellious boy, left, the balance of 400,000 yuan for the 1 million order he placed had not yet arrived. According to the construction period, the payment would definitely be received this month, so he still has to spend at least 5.4 million. It's really difficult to handle. It seems that commuter buses must be arranged. A large bus will cost at least more than 1 million. We also need to hire a mature driver. You can ask Brother Yang about this. He used to drive a big truck, so he must know someone in this field. This way, there are more than 4 million left. We also need to prepare for the employee sports meeting in time. When the time comes, we can set up more projects and give out more prizes. We need to get as many computers, mobile phones, and home appliances as possible. In addition, we need to rent a venue for the sports meeting, which will cost at least hundreds of thousands. Well, that's all for now. The remaining money can be spent flexibly when the time comes. Seeing that the monthly spending plan has been sorted out, Chen Mo stretched his waist. Then let's start with the first thing, charity. If the orphanage is solved early, those children can live a better life. I looked at the time. It was more than 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There was enough time. Chen Ro, go out for a while. He stood up and greeted Chen Ro, and left the office directly. Entering the business car, Yang Dehai had already prepared and was waiting in the driver's seat. Mr. Chen, where are we going? To Tailong Furniture City. Chen Mo said. Tailong Furniture City is the largest and most famous furniture city in Jiangxing City. The items and quality inside are very well guaranteed. The beds of the children in the orphanage are too worn out, as well as the small desks for studying. They all need to be replaced with new ones. now we can just order a batch. The earlier we order, the earlier the children can live in good beds. Mr. Chen, what are we going to do in the furniture city? In the car, Chen Mo asked curiously. Chapter 65. This is the company's charity fund. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sir, this bed is made of pure solid wood, and the rest of the materials are also environmentally friendly materials. It is completely safe for children to use. Tailong Furniture City, Chen Mo squatted in front of a bunk bed for children, checked it carefully, and found that the shopping guide was right. This is indeed made of pure solid wood. Chen Mo watched quietly from the side. She did not expect that Mr. Chen came to the furniture store to buy new beds for the children in the orphanage. Watching Mr. Chen carefully check the material of the bed, I was very moved. How much does this bunk bed cost? After Chen Mo confirmed the material of the bed, he stood up and looked at the shopping guide. Sir, the price of this children's bunk bed is 9,998. The shopping guide replied enthusiastically. How many are in stock? Chen Mo asked again. This is a more relevant question. If there are enough stocks, those children can live in new beds faster. We currently have a total of 7 in stock here. I don't know how many sir are prepared to ask for. When the shopping guide heard Chen Mo's question, his eyes suddenly lit up. Judging from her many years of experience as a shopping guide, if she can ask similar words, she has the intention to buy. If she seizes the opportunity, the probability of closing the deal will be very high. Sir, if you purchase more than 5 beds, we can enjoy a 50% discount here. Chen Mo frowned subconsciously when he heard the word discount, but he quickly realized it and smiled helplessly. I am so confused because I am spending system funds. This time it is for charity for the orphanage, and 800,000 yuan can definitely be spent. If you save a little here, you will have more funds for other expenses in the orphanage. There are currently a total of 15 children in the orphanage. There are only 7 available here, and the bunk beds can accommodate 14 children. However, these children are still young, and 2 children can temporarily sleep in one bed. Okay, I want the 7 ready-made ones, and I also need to reserve one of these bunk beds. I hope you can make them as soon as possible. Mr. Chen, isn't it too expensive? Those children are still young, so buying such an expensive bed is too luxurious. I think the bed that cost several thousand yuan was pretty good. When Chen Mo heard that Chen Mo had decided to buy it, she immediately spoke anxiously. This bed cost nearly 10,000 yuan. How could Mr. Chen spend so much money? Those beds that cost several thousand yuan are all made of composite boards, which contain a lot of formaldehyde. Children absorbing too much formaldehyde will affect their health. This is a solid wood bed made of high-quality solid wood, so you don't have to worry about formaldehyde. Chen Mo looked at Chen Mo's anxious look and explained patiently, formaldehyde is very harmful to people, especially children, so we must not be careless in this regard. Even for the employee dormitories built by the garment factory, he required the decoration company to use good solid wood materials. Chen Mo opened her mouth. She had never thought about this issue before. Now after listening to Chen Mo's words, she realized that this was a very important issue. This was related to the health of those children, and there was no way she could refuse. Mr. Chen, thank you. The money for these beds can be recorded in my account, and I will definitely pay it back to you. Since there is no way to refuse, just pretend that you borrowed it. Now her salary is 10,000 yuan, and 8 beds are 8 months' salary, which she can afford. Chen Mo frowned when he heard this. I used 800,000 yuan for charity. If it's on your account, how can I do charity? After thinking for a while, he looked at Chen Mo and said seriously. Chen Mo, I bought these beds for those children, not because of you, but because of those children. And this money does not belong to me alone, but to a charitable fund made in the name of the company. So this money belongs to the company, as well as to everyone in the clothing factory and Cangxue games. If you really want to do something, then do your job well. In addition, the company will allocate a charity fund for charity activities every once in a while. In the future, it will not only be orphanages that will be helped, but also other people or things that need funding. Listening to Chen Mo's words, Chen Mo gradually lowered her head in shame. She found that Mr. Chen's ideological level was much higher than hers. He was only thinking about the small orphanage, but Mr. Chen was already thinking about helping more people. The orphanage is just the first beneficiary. Mr. Chen, I understand. I will definitely work hard to bring greater benefits to the company and help more people. Chen Mo raised her head and said with firm eyes. Seeing Chen Mo's firm expression, Chen Mo wanted to say something. It doesn't have to be like this. I am not recruiting you as an assistant to create benefits for the company. He cursed secretly in his heart and turned around to look at the shopping guide who was waiting quietly. You can write the bill now. Okay. Upon hearing this, the shopping guide hurriedly responded and ran to the counter quickly, as if he was afraid that Chen Mo would regret it. When she just heard the girl say it was too expensive, she thought the order was going to be lost. After all, based on her years of experience as a shopping guide, if a man and a woman come to buy something, and the woman has objections, it will be difficult to close the order. I had given up all hope at first, but I didn't expect it would take a turn. For the worse, I quickly opened the receipt and walked back. Sir, I need you to fill in the delivery address and time. Chen Mo took the receipt, wrote down the time and location, and handed it back. Okay sir, according to your time, someone will deliver the bed tomorrow morning, and there will also be corresponding workers to install it for you. If you have any dissatisfaction at that time, please feel free to contact us. After buying the bed, Chen Mo bought another double bed, which was prepared for Grandma Wu. Then a batch of children's tables and chairs were ordered. Leaving Tailong Furniture City, Chen Mo asked Yang Dehai to drive to the sports company to discuss the rubber floor and some children's entertainment facilities. In this way, some large supplies for the orphanage are already complete. Grandma Wu can buy the remaining small items by herself. After this trip, only over 200,000 yuan was spent, and there was still more than 500,000 yuan in charity funds left, which was enough for the orphanage for a period of time. Brother Yang, you don't have to go back to the company, just go home. Chen Mo took a look at the time and found that it was already 4:30, and there was only half an hour left before get off work, so he simply didn't go back. Okay, Mr. Chen. Yang Dehai responded. Where are you going? Chen Mo turned to look at Chen Mo. I can just get off at the subway entrance in front. Chen Mo glanced at the location and pointed to the subway entrance in front of her. The vehicle slowly stopped at the subway entrance. Before getting off the car, Chen Mo suddenly stopped Chen Mo. Chapter 67 Cangxue Game Reform Plan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is there anyone willing to fund the orphanage? That boss is so kind. Zhang Lan asked with surprise when he heard Chen Mo's words. It's Chen Mo. What's going on? Tell me quickly. When Zhang Lan heard that it was Chen Mo, the fire of gossip instantly ignited in her eyes. It's like this. Didn't I go back to the orphanage last Sunday? Chen Mo also went there. Chen Mo told the whole story. That's it. In that case, Mr. Chen is a very good person. Let me see how much charity money is given to the orphanage. Zhang Lan said, her head already in front of Chen Mo's mobile phone. More than 500,000, it's really a lot. But why are there so many charitable funds? 541680, does it have any special meaning? Have no idea. Chen Mo shook her head, she didn't know why there was a completeness. It doesn't matter so much. In short, Mr. Chen has funded the orphanage, and you are completely liberated. You can quit that part-time job tomorrow. You don't need money so urgently. Zhang Lan said with a smile. She was happy for Chen Mo from the bottom of her heart. But I suddenly lost the motivation of the orphanage. I don't know what I should do next. I don't have any goals. Do you really have no goals? Then why did you stay up late to learn about assistance during this period? Of course Mr. Chen gave me such a high salary. I want to work hard to improve my business capabilities and be worthy of my remuneration. Chen Mo quickly explained. Now, Mr. Chen has solved the orphanage's dilemma. Aren't you going to work hard? That when Zhang Lan said this, he suddenly showed a mysterious smile and came close to Chen Mo. Or you don't want to work hard anymore and want to stage a TV series. What kind of TV plot? Chen Mo looked at Zhang Lan with confusion. Of course, the young lady has no way to repay the kindness of the young master, so she can only pledge herself to him. Zhang Lan said and suddenly laughed. You are looking for death. That the two of them were on the bed in an instant, wrestling. Mr. Chen, please come inside. Fong Chang enthusiastically brought Chen Mo to the office. When he arrived at the office, Chen Mo looked around. This office was specially reserved for him, but he was always at the clothing factory, so it was always free. Where's Wei Yan? Director Wei, he should be in the staff studio now. I'll call him over. Fong Chang spoke quickly. During this period, Wei Yan stayed in the employee studio every day, asking those employees for knowledge about games. No, I just have to announce something, so let's go to the staff studio. Chen Mo waved his hand. The two came to the staff studio together. As soon as he walked in, Chen Mo saw Wei Yan sitting next to an employee, holding a pen in his hand and pointing at the computer screen. Seeing this scene, Chen Mo smiled knowingly. The biggest taboo at work is that the leader doesn't understand anything and then has to point fingers. Isn't this what Wei Yan was doing at this time? I don't know anything about games, but I'm still pointing fingers at employees. Isn't this exactly what I want? Mr. Chen, you are here. Wei Yan noticed Chen Mo at the door and quickly stood up and came over to say hello. Chen Mo nodded and looked at Wei Yan with a satisfied smile. Well done, keep up the good work. Mr. Chen, I will definitely work hard. When Wei Yan heard Mr. Chen's affirmation, his spirits perked up, as if he had been inspired. Is this Mr. Chen's recognition of his hard work during this period? Chen Mo patted Wei Yan's shoulder gently to show encouragement. He walked directly to the center of the staff studio. Everyone, please stop what you're doing. Mr. Chen has something to say. When Fong saw that Mr. Chen was ready, he clapped his hands quickly to focus the attention of all employees. Mr. Chen, you can speak now. All the employees looked over with curiosity in their eyes, wondering what the new boss would say. I'm here today mainly to make some work adjustments, as well as some company benefits and activities. As for me, I rarely come here since I acquired this company, so I have neglected our side. As a result, the working model and benefits here are still the same as before. So, today I am going to unify the working mode here with that of the garment factory. When Chen Mo said this, some employees in the studio couldn't help but exclaimed. During the last team building, they had chatted with the employees at the garment factory. They knew what the benefits were like there. I was still very envious at that time, wondering when Mr. Chen would change the system here. I didn't expect it to come true today. Everyone, be quiet and listen carefully to Mr. Chen's speech. Fong Chang stood up and scolded. The studio was calm again. Chen Mo continued to speak. First, there is the issue of working hours. Our work here has always been 8 to 5. This does not need to be changed. However, the rest system here is single day off. In the future, it will be unified with that of the garment factory and changed to double day off. In addition, after my detailed understanding, we still have the phenomenon of overtime here. I strongly oppose overtime. It not only takes up everyone's spare time, but also gradually discourages everyone's work enthusiasm. The overtime system will be cancelled in the future. Also, you can count your own overtime hours since I took over the company. At that time, the finance department will pay double overtime pay, and the time working on Saturdays and Sundays will also be considered overtime. Chen Mo slowly narrated that he heard about overtime from an employee during the team building. In this regard, after returning, he deliberately learned about the work system of Cangxue games in detail. Only then did he realize that he had neglected the company here too much, and it was almost a free-range state, so he made a reform plan for Cangxue games according to the situation of the garment factory. So there was today's speech. Pa pa pa. A burst of fierce applause rang out in the employee studio, and even a few employees shouted "Boss is awesome" twice. Wait until the applause gradually subsided. Chen Mo continued to speak. The next thing is welfare. First of all, insurance. Your original insurance is only the lowest level in Jiangxing City, and there is no housing fund. In the future, everyone will pay the full amount of 5 insurances and 1 housing fund. There are other benefits. Because we don't have a canteen here, everyone still has to pay for their own meals every day. There is no way to solve the canteen here for the time being, so the Queen will give everyone extra meal subsidies. In addition, there are shopping cards, which will be the same as the garment factory. Each person will have a shopping card of 500 yuan per month. In addition, employees with outstanding performance will have the opportunity to increase their salary every month. Chapter 68. This is easy, rent an office. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Following Chen Mo's narration, every employee in the studio seemed to be in a dream. During team building, they knew that the benefits at the clothing factory were very good, but they didn't expect them to be so good. If the previous working hours are changed, it will liberate their physical and mental freedom. So the current welfare changes completely solve their basic necessities, food, housing and transportation. Don't say anything else. The 500 yuan monthly shopping card alone completely covers the family's cost of firewood, rice, oil and salt. This is no different from giving them a 500 yuan salary increase. Fong Chang on the side also looked incredulous when he heard Chen Mo's story. He didn't know much about the system at the garment factory, and he had never tried to understand it. After listening to this, I suddenly realized that Mr. Chen's employees are really good. If all these plans are really implemented, Mr. Chen will have to pay and lose a lot of money. Wei Yan, on the other hand, stood aside with a calm face. He had long been accustomed to what Mr. Chen did. He secretly made statistics some time ago and found that the money Mr. Chen is currently spending is completely out of proportion to the income of the 2 companies. He didn't understand why Mr. Chen did this, but he had a hunch that Mr. Chen must be playing a big game. Everything we are doing so far is paving the way. After all, how could a man as farsighted as Mr. Chen do useless work? What he has to do is to improve himself as much as possible and not let himself be a hindrance in Mr. Chen's game. Chen Mo didn't pay too much attention to the expressions of the surrounding employees. In terms of benefits, these are tentatively decided and will be changed in the future. The rest is company activities. Company team building is held from time to time. We will notify everyone when the time comes. The next thing I want to announce is the company's next event, the sports meeting, which will be held in about a month. Everyone can take advantage of this time to exercise. There are many sports events in the sports meeting, such as running, high jump, long jump, rope skipping, table tennis, badminton, and a series of other sports. At that time, the top players in each sport will receive corresponding prizes. Prizes will include mobile phones, computers, tablets, refrigerators, air conditioners, etc. After Chen Mo finished speaking what he wanted to say, he left the studio under the astonished eyes of all the employees. Back to the office, Fong Chang carefully brought a glass of water over. Chen Mo took the water glass and after talking so much, his mouth was really a little dry. Everyone, please take a seat. I've finished talking about the staff, and there are other things I want to talk to you about. Chen Mo took the water glass, sat on the seat, and greeted the 2 of them. Mr. Chen, please tell me if you have any orders. Wei Yan asked after sitting down. Fong Chang also sat upright beside him, pretending to be listening. It's not a big deal. Chen Mo smiled helplessly when he saw the serious looks on the 2 of them. I just want to improve the environment and configuration of our company. First of all, the computer. As a game company, the computer configuration must be in place. So, the computers used by our employees now need to be replaced. Wei Yan knows this better, so I won't say more. The next step is the issue of air conditioning. I found that the company currently uses air conditioners for office rooms, which are still somewhat lacking in cooling. The employee studios are still a bit stuffy, so several independent air conditioners need to be installed. The rest is the daily life of employees. The few hard seats in the tea room are not suitable for employees to rest at all. We can put in a few comfortable sofas, and then put in a coffee machine, snack cabinet and beverage cabinet. This snack cabinet and beverage cabinet should also be placed in the employees' workroom so that employees can easily access them. Then there is the issue of the company's environment. You can buy some green plants and place them in every corner of the company to improve the company's air. Well, that's all for now. You can make your own arrangements on how to do it. Contact the company's finance for how much money you need. Chen Mo pondered for a moment and confirmed that there was nothing missing. Do you have anything else? If not, I'll leave. Mr. Chen, I have a very worrying issue. Fong Chong suddenly stood up with a hesitant expression. You say? Chen Mo looked at Fong Chong curiously. It's just about working overtime. Now the company is developing new projects. If we don't work overtime, I'm afraid it will take a long time to complete. Mr. Chen, do you think it's okay to work overtime for a while? Fong Chong asked carefully. He knew that his suggestion might arouse Mr. Chen's dissatisfaction. After all, Mr. Chen had just announced a no overtime policy, but it's almost normal for programmers in game companies to work overtime, and some don't even get overtime pay. He has worked for several game companies, and he has never seen any game company that doesn't work overtime. Chen Mo rubbed his head helplessly after hearing this, a long while. He looked up at Fong Chong and said meaningfully. I can understand your desire to complete the project as soon as possible, but there are many ways to speed up the completion of the project, so why do you have to choose to work overtime? If you feel that this project is difficult to complete without working overtime, you might as well recruit more employees. In this way, the efficiency will also increase. But Mr. Chen, this office is only 150 square meters now. If we are recruiting new employees, there will be no extra space for workstations. Fong Chong looked a little embarrassed. That's easy to do. Then let's rent an office. You can calculate how big it is. There's nothing else, so I'll leave first. After Chen Mo finished speaking quickly, he stood up and walked outside, but he began to make some calculations in his mind. The office space was a good way to spend money. As the company grew, he could rent a large office space or even several floors, then find a decoration company to carry out decoration, and the decoration fee is a huge expense, can be included in future goals. Chen Mo nodded secretly and walked out of Cangxue game. Fong Chong watched Mr. Chen leave and remained silent for a long time. He didn't expect Mr. Chen to solve the problem by renting an office space, which was a waste of money. Director Wei, what do you think about this matter? Turning to look at Wei Yan aside, he was a little undecided. Just do it. Isn't there an 80 square meter office room upstairs that no one has rented? We can just rent it. There is absolutely no problem in adding 20 workstations. Wei Yan thought for a moment and spoke slowly. He has been with Mr. Chen for a while, so he has some understanding of Mr. Chen's character. Once Mr. Chen makes certain decisions, he will not change them easily. Then rent it. That office space has been vacant for several months and has not been rented out. If we go over and negotiate, we should be able to lower the price. After hearing Wei Yan's suggestion, Fong Chong finally felt relieved. Leave this matter to me. I used to run a business and am quite experienced in bargaining. Wei Yan took the initiative to take on this job. Chapter 69, Production Efficiency Improved. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Leave Cangxue game, Chen Mo got into the business car. Brother Yang, is there any news about the driver? Mr. Chen, I called last night but couldn't get in touch. I'm going to go to his house after get off work today to have a look. Yang Dehai said a little embarrassed. Well, let's do this. I don't have anything to do with the car in the afternoon. After you send me to the clothing factory, you can drive the company car directly to see your friend and see what he thinks. Okay, Mr. Chen. Yang Dehai nodded. Back to the garment factory. First, we went to the workshop and canteen to talk about the movement that would be held in a month. Chen Mo returned to the office and began to sort out the system funds that could be spent in the past 2 days. The 800,000 yuan of charity funds has been spent. I went to Cangxue game today and got an unexpected reward. I rented a new office and installed some office facilities. You can spend at least 2 million, or even more, on Cangxue games, good, that if this continues, the 8 million system funds will be spent soon. Chen Mo leaned back on the seat easily, reached for the water glass and wanted to take a sip of water. When he reached his mouth, he realized that the water glass was empty. After this reaction, Chen Mo went to the orphanage and inspected the bus today. He smiled helplessly and had no choice but to stand up and go to the water dispenser to get a glass of water and take a sip. Not long after we were seated, there was a gentle knock on the office door. Enter. That the office door was gently opened, and Jiang Qing walked in cautiously. When he came to the desk, he bowed slightly and said hello. Mr. Chen, okay. Sit down, what can I do? Chen Mo pointed to the seat in front of the desk and asked. He had some impression of the person in front of him. He was an employee of a clothing factory. He rarely spoke and was an honest person. Mr. Chen, I just want to ask for something. Jiang Qing slowly opened the seat, only half of his buttock sat on it. What's up? Chen Mo looked at Jiang Qing curiously. Isn't the canteen ready? I heard that the canteen is going to hire some cleaning staff. I want my wife to come and do this job. I don't know if that's possible. Don't worry, Mr. Chen, my wife is very diligent and keeps the house and yard clean at home. We don't need too much salary, just 2,000 will be enough. We just need to wait for the staff dormitory to come down. We want a couple's room. Jiang Qing finished speaking in one breath, and then looked at Mr. Chen expectantly. When he came back from the break on Sunday, he wanted to talk to Mr. Chen about this matter, but he always hesitated. Just yesterday, the company canteen was suddenly completed. He was a little anxious, worried that it would be too late and the cleaning position would be gone. When Chen Mo heard this, he breathed a sigh of relief. He thought it was something important, but this matter is considered a major matter for Jiang Qing. Wait a moment, let me ask about personnel matters. He has left the recruitment of some ordinary employees to the company's personnel, and now he doesn't know if the canteen cleaning positions are full. However, even if it is full, it can be arranged elsewhere, whether it is workshop cleaning or future employee dormitory cleaning. Arranging a job is not easy. After a while, Chen Mo hung up the phone and showed a dumbfounded expression. He didn't expect that the company hadn't hired any cleaning staff so far. The reason given by the Human Resources Department was that the location of the factory was too remote, and those interviewing for cleaning services were all older aunts, making it very inconvenient for them to go to work. Some people who were willing to come over hesitated when they heard that the canteen had not been built yet, saying that they would wait until the canteen was built to take a look. No problem. I've already informed the personnel. When she joins the company, you can just contact her. There is also the issue of salary. Now we can give you a salary of 4,000. As for other benefits, all employees are the same. Chen Mo looked up at Jiang Qing and said slowly. Thank you, Mr. Chen. Hearing this, Jiang Qing quickly stood up and bent down to thank him. He didn't expect Mr. Chen to agree so easily and give him a salary of 4,000. You know, he has learned about the salary of cleaning staff in other places, which is basically more than 2,000 yuan. Mr. Chen actually gave me 4,000 and enjoyed the same benefits as other employees. If you calculate it carefully, it's not just 4,000. No need to be polite, the cleaning treatment is the same. How do you feel in the workshop recently? Is there anything you are dissatisfied with? Chen Mo asked Jiang Qing, who had stood up, to sit down and asked a few casual questions. Mr. Chen's current working environment in the workshop is much better, and under the leadership of Director Li, everyone is very motivated to work. The workload that originally took 7 days can now be completed in more than 3 days. Jiang Qing seemed much more excited when he heard Mr. Chen asked about work. Chen Mo let out a sigh, feeling something was wrong. He doesn't even work overtime anymore. How come his work efficiency has nearly doubled? Tell me what's going on. Director Li organized a competition and divided the workshop employees into 2 groups. The workload of the 2 groups will be calculated every week. The group with lower workload will treat the group with higher workload to dinner. Originally, everyone's enthusiasm for work every day was very high. With this small competition, everyone worked even harder. Jiang Qing spoke seriously. Chen Mo's mouth twitched when he heard this. He thought Li Shen had stopped, but he didn't expect him to be waiting here. He heard yesterday that Wu Yu from the sales department had started to receive orders from customers. I don't know what happened to those interns. They haven't been working for long, and they have weekends off. How come they received orders so quickly? Now, the production efficiency of the factory has doubled, which means that the income will also double. Sure enough, this old man will cause trouble for him if he doesn't pay attention. Work efficiency is important, but you don't have to work so hard. Take a break occasionally and pay attention to your health. What's wrong with these people? Can't they work with the same attitude as before? Isn't it nice to slack off? Jiang Cheng was even more moved when he heard Chen Mo's words. Mr. Chen, don't worry, we are fine. To be honest, we feel a little tired when working, but our factory has short working hours and does not need overtime. So even if we feel a little tired at the time, we can recover after a rest after work. Unlike other factories, we are exhausted during the day and have to work overtime at night. Over time, everyone loses their enthusiasm for work and lives in a daze every day, just for that little salary. But it's different here, Mr. Chen. We have hope in our hearts. We can think about going there to play and stroll after get off work. Yesterday, the cafeteria was completed, and everyone went to the entertainment room. The massage chair is so comfortable. Sitting on it and massaging for a while, most of the fatigue of the day is instantly dissipated. So we are willing to work for Mr. Chen, even if it's a little tiring. Chapter 70 Changes in the Business Department. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chen Mo listened to Jiang Cheng's story with mixed feelings in his heart. Normally, these employees work so hard and trust him. He should be happy and moved, but the point is, he doesn't need to make money. It's all Li Shen's sixth one. It seems he has to think of a solution, consider giving him a promotion, and this position should have as little contact with the operation of the workshop as possible, but after Li Shen is promoted, who should be the workshop director? Chen Mo thought for a long time and finally turned his attention to Jiang Cheng in front of him. Isn't this a very good candidate? Be honest and do your duty. Such an honest person would never cause trouble like Li Shen. The more Chen Mo looked at it, the more satisfied he became. He found time to talk to Li Shen and then implement the matter. Okay, I understand everything. You can go back first. Okay, Mr. Chen. Jiang Cheng nodded, stood up and walked out. Business department. Li Shen sat back on the office chair with his legs crossed. Brother Shen, thank you for reminding me this time, otherwise we wouldn't be able to get the order so quickly. Wu Yu brought a glass of water and brought it to Li Shen. No need to thank me, I just gave you a few reminders. Being able to get orders is the result of your efforts. Also, the clothes produced by our garment factory are of high quality and low price. We still have to thank Brother Shen. If Brother Shen hadn't reminded us, we wouldn't have realized that we can go out to run business on Saturdays and Sundays. Wu Yu insisted, since Wei Yan was transferred, there have been no new orders from the business department. If the $1 million order was completed before Wei Yan left, and no new orders appeared, there might be a gap in the workshop. He and the two new salesmen were always anxious. Just a few days ago, Li Shen came to them and suggested that they go out to run business when they had rest on Saturdays and Sundays. They thought about it and agreed. The company's employees were on vacation, but it did not affect their business operations at all, so on Saturday and Sunday, the three of them did not rest, but went out to visit many customers. Unexpectedly, he actually gained something. Some customers who had shown interest before placed orders directly after his visit, and he also realized that some customers cannot be signed by you in just one visit, but require constant contact and maintenance. Okay, I'm not here to listen to your compliments. I'm here to urge you to continue taking orders. Now the work efficiency of the workshop has doubled. When Wei Yan's 1 million order is completed, the 2 orders you just took will not be enough for us. So you have to keep working hard, and so are you 2 newcomers. The business is running out. Also, if you have time, look for Wei Yan to learn more. He has been in business for more than 10 years, and the experience he imparts is much better than mine, so he will do something, you know. Li Shen stood up from his seat and gently patted Wu Yu on the shoulder. walked out of the business department, construction site. Work hard and finish unloading this batch of goods. Everyone is eating. A man wearing a hard hat shouted at the top of his lungs. In the distance, a group of workers unloaded the cement from the truck and moved it to the distance. It was already noon, and the harsh sunlight fell on their ash-covered cheeks, and drops of turbid sweat dripped down. Lu Pingtao put away the last bag of cement and leaned against the cement bag with his whole body feeling exhausted. He reached out and wiped his sweaty cheeks with the back of his relatively clean hand. After staying for a while, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. He walked to a bucket and washed his face vigorously. At this time, the foreman came over, took out a 100 yuan note and handed it over. Here is today's wages. The lunch box is over there. Go get it yourself. Thanks. Lu Pingtao took the 100 yuan note, carefully put it in his pocket, and walked to the dining car in the distance. After receiving a box lunch, I found a shady place to eat. I said, "Why can't you get through on your phone? If I hadn't called your wife, I would have thought you were missing." Yang Dehai came to Lu Pingtao and sat side by side with him. After he sent Mr. Chen to the garment factory, he started to contact the other party, but the call was still not connected. In the end, he had to call his wife. After asking, he found out that the other party was unloading cement at the construction site. The battery life of this mobile phone is exhausted. It will shut down soon. Lu Pingtao took out the mobile phone in his pocket and pressed it in front of Yang Dehai, but there was no response. "Why did you remember to come to me? What's the matter?" As he spoke, he took out a box of cigarettes. The cigarette box might have become a little wrinkled due to work. He took out a relatively complete cigarette from it and handed it to Yang Dehai. "No more smoking, quit smoking." Yang Dehai glanced at the cigarette but did not take it. Since becoming Chen Mo's driver, he has given up smoking. After all, Chen Mo didn't smoke. As a driver, it was impossible for him to smoke in the car, so he simply stopped smoking. It's better to quit and save money. Lu Pingtao took back the cigarette, put it in his mouth, lit it, and took a long puff. Yang Dehai looked at Lu Pingtao's covered in dust and sighed secretly. "If my family hadn't met Chen Mo, it would probably be like this." No, it's even worse. After all, I have a back injury and can't even do hard work like unloading cement. "How did you do this job?" "I can't help it. Over the years, my greatest skill is driving, but now I'm old and no one wants me. Only this kind of labor can earn more, so I do this." Lu Pingtao looked into the distance and exhaled a smoke ring. "I remember you said you were a security guard before." "I'm a security guard, but I'm a night security guard and I work as a day laborer during the day." "How old are you?" "You're still working so hard. Be careful not to hurt your body," Yang Dehai said with some concern. "I can't help it. My child has to pay off the mortgage for buying a house. Now I have a girlfriend and I have to save money for the bride price. You are like me, you have 2 daughters. Lu Pingtao sighed and turned to look at Yang Dehai. "You haven't told me yet, what do you want me to do?" "Ha ha ha, let's get down to business. I have a good job here. Do you want to come?" Yang Dehai laughed twice. After the conversation just now, he knew that he could complete the task assigned by Mr. Chen. "What kind of job? How much is the salary? Is it reliable?" Lu Pingtao asked a few key questions, but he didn't have any expectations in his heart. After all, the situations of the two of them are similar. What good can there be?